Hey, it's Jordan with Status Coup. Over the weekend, Status Coup's John Farina covered more insanely horrific police terrorism against pro-Palestinian protesters, this time outside the Brooklyn Museum. And frankly, we have covered more protests, particularly the pro-Palestinian protests, than any outlet in America, corporate or independent. So please, 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 it is not cheap to do this. Support our work, support John, statuscoup.com/join. I want to get to these protests and particularly the NYPD response, because I don't think it's just about the NYPD. I think this has broader implications for the entire country. First, if you didn't see this, let's show just some of, what is literally mob-like brutality that the NYPD perpetrated against peaceful protesters on Friday.
I hope I got that on camera. That officer was punching through like 3 or 4 punches for no reason. Grabbed that person, threw him to the ground, started punching them. Long live the Intifada! Free Palestine!
Again, that was John Farina. He, for Status Coup, has covered over 50, let me repeat, over 50 ceasefire/Palestinian protests and student protests. It is not cheap. It has cost us some months $1,000 to $2,000 to do this, because broadcasting live, we've gone over our data plan to broadcast sometimes 3 to 4 hours straight to bring this to you. But as far as I know, we're the only ones doing this consistently. So please support us, statuscoup.com/join, $5 a month. But the bottom line is, for all the hubbubaloo about Trump, fascism is already here. This is not a democracy. This is the United Corporations of America, and they'll let you protest. But if you get a little too loud, they will unleash their hounds, i.e. the NYPD, the LAPD, and the police, to crack skulls. We have shown you over and over, John has captured police randomly just yanking protesters who were doing nothing, pulling them to the ground. In this case, you saw that police punching repeatedly at the chest of a protester. I don't know if it was that protester was the one we just saw with the bloody face, because there were multiple cops punching at multiple protesters. There is no reason. And then we see the New York Post and other corporate propaganda outlets saying, oh, well, the protesters weren't on the sidewalk, or the protesters did X to the police. We have it on camera. Nothing but peaceful protest is happening. Are there some protesters that might shout obscenities at cops? Sure. On occasion, have we seen protesters throw things at police? Very rarely. Overall, it's been 100%, almost 100% peaceful. And why this is so important, you were seeing these scenes around the anniversary. That was several days, like 4 or 5 days after the anniversary of police literally kneeing to death George Floyd. Remember that a few years ago? Millions of people protesting across the country, words of solitude and seriousness, and we're going to change things from the Democrats, from Biden, Nancy Pelosi and the rest of them were kneeling in their kente cloth, and something has to change. Nothing has changed. It has gotten worse. In this case, not for just unarmed black men, for all people in America just trying to protest. The police are out of control, and the Democrats don't care. The Republicans don't care. In fact, Democrats and Republicans are giving police more money to crack down on freedom of speech, of freedom of assembly. And you want to tell me things are going to get worse with Trump? How much worse could it be than what you're seeing now and what we've been seeing for months? This is not to say Trump wouldn't be more brazen about it. We've already seen Trump try and dispatch military to terrorize and brutalize protesters. But Biden, and in this case, Eric Adams in New York, I don't hear anything from Chuck Schumer in New York. I don't hear anything from AOC, Jamal Bowman, about what the police are doing. I don't see any calls to pull funding. This is not protecting public safety. This is terrorizing freedom of speech. This is criminalizing freedom of speech. Sure, are these cops annoyed by these people protesting over and over? At this point, probably 50 to 60 protests since October 7th. Yeah, well, it's not illegal to annoy the police. It should be illegal what police are doing here. And I think what you're seeing, this brutality from the police, in my view, this illegal terrorism by the police that only us, there's no one that has captured this more than us and John Farina. I think what you're seeing is going to be part of the reason Biden loses re-election. It's not just people are against Biden issuing a blank check for Israel's genocide of innocent Palestinians in Gaza. Young people, and I would even say a lot of older people, are not buying that, oh, if Trump gets reelected, fascism is here, because they are experiencing fascism at the hands of police. This is what happens in fascist countries. Police crack down, the media covers it up, and propaganda comes out that the protesters had it coming to them. It is a hollow message if you're going to say, well, it's going to be worse with Trump. Maybe it will, but to the people being brutalized, to the people that have been marching, seeing their comrades brutalized, it's kind of a hollow message. To them, okay, so it's going to get worse. Well, how much worse than literally being assaulted and beaten to a bloody pulp for the crime of just demanding an end to genocide? Meanwhile, we're getting flooded by fundraising emails from the Democratic Party, federal level, state level, local level. Democracy is at stake. Democracy is at stake. Well, this doesn't seem like a healthy democracy to me. Does it seem like a healthy democracy to you? I don't think so. And if you missed it, that was not the only example of just police terrorism that John has captured. This was the week before. If you missed this, I mean, this was potentially even more brutal. Take a look.
Guys, they bloodied his face. I'm calm. You back up. Guys, this is what I say when NYPD comes in, they start violence.
And our politicians have the nerve to point to Russia or China and how they crack down on dissent. They're literally allowing the police to become terrorists, to pummel unarmed, peaceful Americans exercising the most fundamental right of America, freedom of speech. Sure, maybe it looks worse under a Trump presidency because he could dispatch the military, but you don't fight that form of fascism with a milder form of fascism. That's not going to bring out young voters to support you if you're condoning and allowing this, much less Biden gave $32 billion more dollars to the police. Let me repeat, Biden gave $32 billion more to police after the murder of George Floyd, after nothing was done about that. And Democrats watered down the George Floyd justice bill and refused to include an end to qualified immunity, which basically allow police to murder and slaughter and terrorize peaceful protesters or unarmed black men with impunity, with no threat of criminal prosecution for the most part. This is about more than the election, but make no mistake, if Biden loses, what you are seeing, don't blame it on the left. What you are seeing is turning young people against coming out for you, Joe Biden. It's turning a lot of independent voters out. It's turning a lot of older folks out. In addition to the economic hellscape that you are trying to spin and fluff up as a strong economy. We will continue covering this, but to repeat, it's really, really expensive to continue covering this. Just to broadcast live for 3 to 4 hours using our broadcasting unit, it's called LiveView. We have a data plan. We already spend $500, $600 a month just on our data plan to broadcast, but we've been going way over our limit to go live for 3 to 4 hours. But we find it very important because no other outlets are doing it as much as us. So if you can support us, please, 16 cents a day. That's what $5 a month comes down to, 16 cents a day. Thanks so much.